Hello friends, and happy daylight saving time in the United States, or summertime, or whatever you want to call it, but it is not daylight savings, plural S time. That's a pet peeve of mine. I apologize for getting off track so early on in the video. I've got to just do better. It is about 9:45 on Sunday, March 9th, and something else has come up. Again, I don't know if I've said it before, I will record a video explaining my absence and why I've not done anything for a while, but it's just I've not had a chance to. And also I have a winter beard that I'm going to be shaving off soon, and no one wants to look at me right now. This came out, TanStack Forum came out about a week ago now. Fantastic library, I'm sure, but I feel like a lot of it is overkill. It's nothing against the library itself, but they need to handle for 9,000 different scenarios, it seems like. Like, you don't necessarily need all of this. It's kind of the same sort of thing for TanStack Table. It's a great table, but a lot of times for data tables, you don't need all the stuff, and it's fairly straightforward to build it yourself. But, you know, Max here wrote, it's hard when a form component takes 2 years to make. And I said, it's not necessarily true. You can do a lot of the stuff that this library would take care of on your own. And to that point, at my work, we're a view shop, and we have a custom composable, which is just, if you're unfamiliar with a composable, it's a reusable chunk of code that allows you to use the view ref, reactive, computed. It's pretty much just like, hey, you're going to take this chunk of code, you're going to use it in multiple locations, but you want to have a lot of the view specific stuff. You put it into a composable. We have an app at my work that's, it's got hundreds of forms, and we use this one composable for 99% of them. So I figured I would show you the composable. Fairly straightforward. We have our simple form here. Assume this is like an account creation form. And what the composable is going to do, we're going to have a few methods. We're going to have reset errors. We're going to have reset state, validate. We're going to have an errors object. The errors object is going to it's going to have the keys are going to be the keys of the state type that you pass in here, or the state object, I should say, and the values are going to be an array of strings. And then what we also want is, it's the way this is being handled is a little wonky. I acknowledge that. We may be going to TanStack Forms at work. I'm not necessarily saying one way or another. We need to do some evaluation to determine just how much it gives us over what we need. But we've kind of massaged this into a certain way that it does what we need, and I'm going to show you how we do it. So, first things first, you don't have to do this, but we want type safety in the composable that we're going to make. So I'm going to create this Zod file, and then in here I'm going to create a couple things. So first things first, we're going to create some types. And I don't want you to worry too much about the types. I'm just going to write them out just so you can see. Export type, field error type, if I can, error type, field errors string. So this is going to be for form level errors. Export type, constructor error type. And we're going to be passing in a generic equals field error type and k in key of t string. And this is the individual field. So I'm going to call this form errors instead. Form errors. It's better because that's what it really means. And then export type error type t equals constructor. Construct error type. I don't know why it doesn't. Oh, because it's a capital T. I don't know who else watching and has not said anything yet, but like, come on, people. Okay, then we're gonna add a couple more things. Export type object refine type equals function is going to be, and this is actually going to have a T, and it's going to be payload is type T, and then Boolean, and then details, message, string, path, string, array. So this is going to be an optional thing that we're going to add in if you need, and you'll see, and this is why I chose this type of form, because one of the things that you want in a account creation form is you want to confirm, or you want to check that the password and the password confirmation match. And then last thing, export type, use Zod payload type T. So we're going to pass in state is going to be a ref of type T. Import type ref from view, not view, view. There we go. State object is going to be of type T, and I need an equal sign here. Apologies. Schema object is going to be an any, and this is just I got lazy. And like the way you define a Zod schema is just ridiculous. Object refine type T array. Don't yell at me. No, I'm not gonna do this. TS ignore. Okay, I'll use never. And let's see what happens, shall we? We shall. I'm talking to myself. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and create the schema for this here, or the schema object I should say. Const schema object equals name, z string, min1. What do we want to say? Email, z string, min1. Come on now. Everyone has an email address nowadays. And then we'll say email. You know what an email address looks like, right? Password, z string, min8. Let's be real. Your password should be longer than 8 characters. You know this, right? Use a password manager. This is getting ridiculous. Okay. And I'm just going to copy this down. Confirm password. There. Okay. Save. That's just crazy. What don't you like? Z is not defined. No shit. Okay. Import Z from Zod. There we go. Stop yelling at me. Now, I'm going to add a refinement because, like I said, we want the password and the confirmed password to match. So, const passwords match refine equals array. No, it's just going to be an object because I'll pass in the array in a second. Details, no, function. And then obj is going to be state type. And then obj password equals obj confirm password. And you can just destructure if you want to. It doesn't really matter. You can do it like this. Password confirm password state type. And then you just get rid of the obj here. You can do it either way. It doesn't really matter. Details. Message. Passwords are supposed to match. And then path will be confirm password. Okay. There we go. So we've got our schema object, our passwords match refine. We've got our state object. This is the payload type that we care about. This is what I'm referring to. So I am going to create. This is in Zod here. Export const use. No, I'll call it a function. Use Zod t extends record string unknown. It's just for, this is just for typing purposes. Don't worry too much about this. Payload use Zod payload type of t. And I'm going to set a return type as well. Now that I'm doing this, export type use Zod return t extends record string unknown. Again, this is just base type sort of stuff. Equals errors is going to be a ref, unwrap ref of error type t. That was actually a Claude thing that I got. I was trying to type things and my IDE was yelling at me, so that's where it came from. I have no idea why it's doing that instead of just whatever, it doesn't matter. Reset errors is going to be a void function. Reset state is going to be another void function. Validate is going to be a Boolean. And I think I'm going to leave this in here. Actions. K in key of T. On blur. And then on input are going to be void return types. And this is going to be for if you want to have individual fields validate on blur or on change, and it's handling for dirty input types and stuff like that. I might include that in this video. Really depends on how long it gets, but we added this recently and I want to include it. So this is going to be use Zod return with a type T. There. So we need to do a couple things. First, I'm going to destructure the payload. Const state equals payload. State object, schema object, object refine. Const errors equals ref error type t. I need to import ref, don't I? Yeah. From view. Now we need to instantiate our errors here somehow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create const clear errors. It's going to be a function. And all this function is going to do is just look through the keys of the state object that we're passing in, setting the, you'll see. Const obj equals object.keys state object reduce. So we've got the accumulator and the key, and all we're going to do is we're going to return the accumulator, and then for the key that we're passing in, it's going to be an empty array. That's it. We're just, for each key we're going in, we're resetting the error array to be an empty array. And then obj form errors equals an empty array, return obj. So now we're just going to call clear errors in here. It's just going to reset, or in this case instantiate, the error object. Okay. And then let's just add in let's. I keep saying let's as if any of the people watching this are doing anything about this. Const reset errors equals errors.value equals clear errors. There, simple. And then the only other thing about a composable like this is you need to return everything that you want to reset errors, that you want to be able to eventually use. So there, we've got the error handling from the perspective of initializing it and clearing it and stuff like that. I'm going to also add in a reset state function. Const reset state equals that. Again, it's a void return type for const key in state object. State value key equals state object key. That's it. Simple. Reset state. Good. Now, what we can do in app.view is const reset state reset errors equals use Zod state type state object schema object and object refine is going to be passwords match refine. We need to import use Zod. Import use Zod from utils Zod. There. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do next? Sorry about that. Okay, so we're good. Now I'm going to work on the validate method. This is going to be fairly straightforward. The real complexity in all of this is the field level validation, like on blur and things like that. And that's why I think it might be another video. Const validate equals, it's going to be a function. This is going to return a Boolean. Okay, sorry. My daughter came downstairs. Okay, let schema equals z.object schema object. And I'm going to need to import z from Zod. Okay. Where am I? Validate. And you can see this is why, like, it's not worth it to type the return type of the Zod object. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not ridiculous, it's what's needed, but whatever. You know what I mean. I'm not trying to denigrate the fine maintainers of the Zod library. Please don't come after me. If object refine length dot length, come on, Jeff. For const refine of object refine, all I'm going to do is just pop this on the end of it. Schema.refine, refine.function, refine.details. That's it. Nice and easy. Very, very simple. Then in here, so this is what we have in the actual library at work itself. Just reset errors. You can put this here, or you can explicitly reset the errors in the form. Or you can do both if you want to. Like you can see here, I'm setting up to reset errors initially. So you know, you do it whatever you want. You can. This is a little overkill, but sometimes overkill is fun. That statement doesn't make any sense. And now I'm sitting here trying to think about if the statement makes sense. What is going on? It must be the time change. Const res equals schema.safeParse state.value. And then if we don't have success for const issue, so the way the Zod error things are handled, it can get a little. There's a lot of information. So this is really just kind of traverse the resulting stuff from Zod and just put it in a format that we like. And I think what I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like just so you can see. res.error.issues const path equals issue.path.join form errors. So we're looking to grab the path. If there's no path, then that's a form level error, and we want to put it on the form errors object. Const value equals. I'm going to add a couple of things here. I forgot about pnpm add the low dash set low dash dot get. I don't know if I want it to be a D. Use optional chaining instead. Okay, that's what I'll do. pnpm remove low dash get pnpm add D types low dash set. Okay, so I'm going to import low dash set from low dash set. Const value equals errors dot value no, I don't. I'm going to use low dash get. Errors.value path, and then low dash set errors.value path value issue.message. And I need to pnpm add low dash get pnpm add types low dash get. I will update it to remove low dash get, but it's just, you notice what's happening here. I'm like setting the path, and then I'm using this path. So it's not intuitive to me, at least, to quickly and easily use the nullish operator. Low dash get from low dash get, and you guys don't want to watch me do that. So, okay, there are some type issues here. Don't worry about it. I'll fix those in a minute. So we're forming the error object. Also, I want to return validate. And then I think that's it. Return res.success. So this will tell us if it's valid or not. What else do I need here? Errors. I need errors. Errors. My goodness. Where are my errors? What's the matter? You see, this is the sort of crap that I need to deal with here. Like, I don't... whatever. This should be it. This should be all that we need. Like I said, there's individual field validation, there's actions and stuff like that. I'm not going to include that yet because it's a bit longer. We need to track dirty instances and things like that, and it's just a bit more involved. So now let's just fix some typing. Let's see. What don't you like about this? So I need to, this is going to be, no, it's this. There we go. As construct error type of T. There, now we've got that. I wasn't including the initial value of our reduce accumulator. And then I just wanted to force it as the construct error type, because otherwise it doesn't know that form errors should be on there. Like, we're creating it in here, field error type has form errors, construct error type is this. So if we don't tell it, hey, it's a construct error type, then it's not going to recognize it. Is there anything else? Why don't you like this? Errors is a... Okay. As unwrap ref. Error type of T. I don't know why this is doing this. Schema object as schema object as never, I guess. I don't know. Again, I'm not terribly concerned about that. Errors validate. So I'm not using reset state, but what I would use reset state in functionally is a situation where, like, let's say you're opening it in a dialog or a modal, and you want to reset the state each time the dialog opens or closes to the initial state. You know, let's say someone, or if there's a form submission and you want to reset it to a blank form after submission, you can use reset state, which I might in this case. And then just let's look at, yeah, let's see what we can do here. It doesn't like it. Handle submit. So it's not valid, which is good. Validate. Let's look at log res. So the res object says success is false. The errors are of this format. So you can see path is name, message. So what we're doing is we're taking the issue.message and we're setting the errors value there. Now let's look at what errors looks like. Else log errors. And let's just clear this out for a second. Errors, it's a proxy target. Confirm password in an array. Okay, that's so. I don't know why the typing is not working on this here, and that's something that if I really cared right now, this video is already 28 minutes long, so I'm not about to sit here and try and debug that. But this is kind of it. Like, now what you can do here, let's add in small v if equals errors.name length, and then you can do whatever, like, you can handle this however you want. I'm going to do errors.name the 0th element, and I will make this class equals error text, and then I don't know, error text color red. Let's do, yeah, let's just do light red. No. Let's do pale violet red. There. And then we can do something similar for email. We'll do something similar for password. And, like, this is it. This is your... And then we add in this down here. Nope, I want there.
I think it's terribly dangerous for an artist to fulfill other people's expectations.
So... It doesn't like that. Confirm confirm password should be yelling at me. Test. Future Jeff here. I actually figured out what was going on after the fact. I'm just going to show you very quickly. I set this as a let initially, but when I hit save, my IDE changes it to a const. So if I do let schema equals schema, and then schema, or let schema equals this, and then schema equals that, and I'll add in a ts ignore, and then I'm going to, let's do this, and let's do this, ignore. Now this should work. Passwords are supposed to match. That's it. On to the rest of the video. But yeah, this is you know, this was a lot of work that went into creating this, but this is, you know, we recognized over time a lot of what we need, and we, you know, I built this functionality, you know, to handle what we need. But you can do something very, very simple and very straightforward to handle form validation. I had something in Svelte that I was using before SvelteKit Superforms came out, and I mean, honestly, even now that SvelteKit Superforms is out, I don't know when. I think it's Cisco Heat is the GitHub handle. SvelteKit Superforms. GitHub. I should have gone there. Yeah, Cisco Heat. I don't know when he's planning on updating to use runes, because there's a lot of state that's handled in here. There's a lot of stores, I should say, that's handled in here, and it's not deprecated flash message. I'm gonna have to look at this. Oh yeah, see, this is the thing. SvelteKit has moved to app state instead of app stores, and flash message itself uses runes. And this is, if Cisco Heat decides to update SvelteKit Superforms into runes mode, then great. But this very well might be a thing that I'm going to include in my SvelteKit app, because I don't need a lot of what he uses here. It's just easy to handle, but I might just build my own thing so that I'm not dependent upon a library that may become deprecated. So, you know, like I said, TanStack Forms, great library, I'm sure. It seems that all the stuff that they put out is widely loved. I don't use React, so I don't use a lot of it. I don't have a need for things like TanStack Query or TanStack Router or things like that, because the routers in SvelteKit and in Vue are actually good. That was bad. I didn't mean it like that. I've heard Remix Runs router is very good as well. But you get my point. Sometimes just roll your own. It's not a big deal. It's going to take 35 minutes to use it in Vue, and then there's a little debugging. So, like I said, I will record another video that will handle field level validation, dirty input tracking, and things like that. But for now, this is it. And I will see you all next time.